All right, so with MFF on surprise maintenance, there's no way for me to record a normal video. So we're gonna bring out the whole clown circus here for the freak show. That is the Q&A video with the questions here on my left. Big shout out to everybody who asked questions. Although I won't be reading all of the questions, I will at least feature you on the screen so you could say, hey, look, Ma, I'm in this scary guy's video. Please put me in witness protection. So let's kick it off here with number one. What are your biggest regrets you've made in MFF? Biggest regret I probably have is not making 2 videos a day sooner. I should have capitalized on the amount of content that I had, and I would have made more money, and I would have generated more kind of popularity for the game and for my channel. That's probably my biggest regret. And, you know, just basically not taking more chances. I know I took a lot of chances with the channel, but I feel like I could have taken even more chances. I could have collabed with people. I could have collabed with people in other, like, genres or who played, like, other kinds of games and sort of expanded the universe of my channel and possibly MFF. I don't necessarily think that my channel has the most impact, but it would have been nice to see, you know, what the absolute limit could have been. What's one character you never really liked in the comics or shows, but started loving when you played Marvel Future Fight? Honestly, mostly Iron Man. I didn't really like Iron Man. I didn't even really like him in the movies up until, like, Endgame. But I really, really liked him in Marvel Future Fight. Pretty much every iteration of Iron Man has been really, really good in the game. When they change him to a villain, even the free-to-play uniform looks fire. Like, really, I like going into Marvel Future Fight and going into Marvel in general. I really liked Cap, but up until recent uniforms, I always didn't like Cap in Marvel Future Fight. He's like the opposite. Like, I didn't really like Hydra Cap. A lot of these other caps just felt kind of cringe. But Iron Man, on the other hand, has always been super duper fun. What are the best ways to improve your account for all content? MasterCard, Visa, Amex. Improve your comic cards. No joke. What is the most efficient way to accomplish this? Play every day, Stark Stash. What are your biggest regrets you've made in life? This is a tough one, but probably just, I don't know, not exploring the world sooner. I think the sooner you explore the world, the sooner you can expose yourself to different ways of life, to different people, the better. Obviously, there's like there's a limit on that. It's like a seesaw, right? You can't be too young or you're not going to understand what the hell's going on. But I mean, you know, once you reach like adulthood, which for a lot of people is like 18, 19 years old, I think you should just boom, go jump right into the fire. And, you know, it sounds cringe, but like, you know, find yourself, as a lot of those Instagram girls say, where they go off to Europe to get railed for 6 months before they come home and get some office job. Yeah, find yourself, generally speaking. Explore different parts of the world. Put yourself in challenging but not dangerous situations, and just see what kind of person you want to be, because nobody has themselves figured out when they're 18, 19. And my mistake, or my regret, I guess, is thinking that I knew more than I knew when I didn't know. And the biggest thing you discover once you get smart enough, hopefully you all get there, is that you actually don't know anything. So, yeah. Do I get a shout out for giving you the Q&A idea? When are you getting rank 1 on any character? Probably never again, or probably only when the game is, like, much older and much quieter. The player base is just too big right now. I know that sounds crazy for a game that only gets, like, whatever, 10 to 20,000 views a day on my videos, but there's way too many whales. You guys grossly underestimate how many insane whales there are who will just throw stacks of cash. They will spend in a month or 2 months what I spend in like 2 or 3 years. I cannot compete with them, and they will just obliterate me for the fun of it. Who is your favorite artist? This is a good one, but it depends on what you're talking about. Artist, in terms of like painting, in terms of like that kind of art, I don't know if I have a favorite. I like some of Monet's stuff. I like some of Van Gogh's stuff. There's quite a few. I've written down a few artists that I can't recall now that are just like one-offs, where I see one painting of theirs. I've never seen anything else, and it's gorgeous. Like, I saw this painting at the Met that I fell in love with. I went to a museum in Montreal that had this one painting that I was just staring at for like 20 minutes, but the names of the artists escape me. As far as like music goes, probably one of the seminal artists of my life from when I was growing up is the Smiths. If you're an emo bitch, you should check them out, because they're kind of an emo bitch band. GORR cosplay when? How much would you love a jump to Tier 4 Richard Rider update? Yes. And him to be ABL meta for no restriction day? No. Is your account more focused on PvE or PvP now? For the past, I think, year and a half or 2 years, it's been more focused on PvP. I may change that in the future if I get bored with PvP, but for now, because it gives me something to do, camaraderie with my alliance, that is where I would prefer to focus my time and my money. Are you married? Maybe. Marry me. Maybe. Would you rather Sydney Sweeney or LeBron James? Without elaborating, the king, LeBron James. Can you do a backflip? Absolutely not. Would you do more character comparison videos like Sentry versus Null? Fun fact, I actually really like doing those videos. It's a lot of fun for me, but the videos don't do well. So the answer to your question is yes and no. But ultimately, the answer really is that either I don't make the videos interesting enough and the fault lies with me, or the videos are not genuinely interesting to the player base that is watching, the fan base that is watching, and then I shouldn't make them. But yeah, I just can't figure out whether the sort of answer lies with me not being fun to watch for those videos or with the audience just not wanting to watch those videos. Hey Alex, hey, what's up? Also named Alex, apparently. Which are the PvP-oriented obelisks? Anything with guard break immunity and invincibility. However, the reason why PvP obelisks don't really get talked about, whereas PvE obelisks and mini rage do get talked about, is because those PvE obelisks actually have similar effects to some of the baseline CTPs, like energy and destruction, whereas the PvP obelisks are still so far away from PvP CTPs because the barrier to entry to actually be good in PvP is a lot higher than PvE, so that's why they don't really get talked about. Should they change the P-card crafting system? No. My friend is arrogant and wants to build his account for PvP even though he's shit in PvE. Is building your account around PvP for early gamers a good idea? It may be very difficult to do, but remember, you should always play the game in the way that makes you have the most fun. So if your friend is having fun, more power to them. Do you think playing high level of World Boss Legend is worth anything? If it's worth something to you, then yes, it's worth something. Otherwise, it's mostly for the XP and the artifact drops if you're going on those bosses. I'm free to play. It took 7 years to build a whale account while still being free to play. Congrats, Tom. Maybe a dumb question, but on Marvel Rivals, given that our girl Luna Snow got on the roster, who would you want to be added next out of all of Marvel Future Fight's OCs? There's actually a lot. There's 7 OCs in the game. I would probably want Sharon Rogers to be added first. After that, probably for the character model, Shadow Show. If you know, you know. What is the most valuable lesson that you learned ever since you started your YouTube channel? This is gonna sound super corny, but you can do anything. Or in this case, I can do anything. That's what starting my YouTube channel taught me, that I really can just achieve whatever I want as long as I, set my mind to it and I go all in and I really, really try. The results may vary. And again, that's why my channel has achieved, higher success and lower success at different times. And I've had to sort of deal with that fluctuation in success. But nonetheless, I put my mind to it and I succeeded. And that's, something I can always be proud of and I can always use as motivation for the future. Why did you start an OnlyFans? Because I needed to feed my 7 children that I've abandoned in South Korea. Was there ever a time you wanted to take a break when MFF had a huge lull moment? Yes, absolutely. And go back to working in another field. Yeah, I had this thought multiple times over the years. I can't tell you exactly when, but yeah, I had this thought multiple times, probably less so recently, more so when I was in Korea still because I was getting job offers and things like that. But absolutely, I had these thoughts from time to time, and thankfully it never won out. Tits or ass? Believe it or not, for most of my life, I was a peach man, but more recently I have been converted and I now pray at the Church of Chests. Can you give a rundown of all the manga and comics on the shelf behind you? Geez, a rundown. We got Gantz, we got JoJo's, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, Berserk, we got Invincible, we got some Shonen Jump, we got Nanatsu no Taizai, which is 7 Deadly Sins, we got Hellsing, Akira, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's everything. And what's my favorite comic of all time from both Marvel and DC? I really like, I really like Batman Year One. I really like Hush, which is also behind me. Killing Joke, parts of it I like. I also really like House of X, Powers of 10 when that debuted. So I'd probably say all of that. And I really like, what is it? Is it Daredevil Born Again? It's the Daredevil one where Kingpin finds out, reveals his identity. And he basically has to kind of disappear and come back. I really enjoyed reading that. What's the longest you have gone without taking a shit, and how long do you think you can go if you tried really hard? What is the longest time you've gone AFK from the game without playing a single day? It's kind of sad, but not that long. Maybe 48 hours, to be honest. I've missed a day like maybe once. In 48 hours, you can actually go, I mean, it's like 47 hours, right? You don't actually go full 2 days, and you can only actually miss 1 day. So yeah, I actually haven't quit the game for that long, which is, it's kind of weird if you think about it that way. Alex, if MFF is really shutting down soon, are you going to continue making content for your second channel, which is Marvel Mystic Mayhem? I would have said yes to this a couple of days ago, but recent events in the game and Mystic Mayhem have made me kind of reconsider that. Long story short, the game has changed from the alpha to the beta in ways that make the game a lot more frustrating, and there's a lot more pain points for the player, which I'm not happy with. And it feels like the game is intentionally grindy with no solution other than to sort of either force players to play for a long time with no progression, or hit the shop, boy, and hit up the sales, which kind of make me question whether I should continue to cover the game at all. When is the next shoulder reveal? Right now, baby. There you go. How's the family, Alex? Very good, thank you, and I hope you're doing well. You and the missus, Evil KLM. Add Slate when? So remember a couple of days ago, Slate, I tagged you and I said I was going to tell you a secret. Here's the secret. I was actually going to add you the first time you asked me, after about a day. But then you kept spamming me. And so from that point on, whenever you asked me when I was going to add you in game, I would add 1 day to my counter to when I was going to add you. And so now that counter, as you can imagine, because you've tagged me so many fucking times, has ballooned to this insane number that you don't know, but I know. And so I'll just, you know, keep waiting until that day comes, if it ever does come, because you keep adding to the counter, tagging me day after day. And then, yeah, what were your plans long-term if YouTube didn't work out? Can't really say what my plans were because I was really hoping that YouTube would have worked out. If I had to guess, if YouTube had failed miserably, I probably would have just leaned harder into teaching, but in a more managerial role, hiring teachers, interviewing them, training them, maybe trying to work my way up to like co-principal or something like that, VP at a Hagwon or multiple Hagwons perhaps, and then maybe transition that into, you know, moving operations or moving like a branch from Korea to another country, maybe like opening up a branch in Japan or China, or even moving it back to Canada and trying to sort of figure out a way to grow the business between those two networks. But ultimately, it's kind of difficult to say. What would you have? Do you think you would have enjoyed it as much as you enjoy YouTube now? No. I think this is one of the luckiest things that ever happened to me, and I'm thankful every day. Will you ever do any more videos like I Am Quicksilver? Maybe. Finger hole blushing. Sydney, is that you? Do you think this was a mistake? Having played since the beginning and started as free-to-play, I now spend about $400 a year on MFF, mostly around the holidays. I have 24 tier 4s and only 1 brilliant CTP, which I got sacrificing another CTP, but plenty of mighties. I feel that I have hit a wall, and I can only get over that wall by getting more brilliant CTPs. What is the average cost of a brilliant CTP that I should expect to invest to improve my roster, and which CTPs benefit the most from being brilliant? The CTPs that benefit the most from being brilliant are Rage and Conquest, so you should focus your efforts on those because those are going to give you big returns. The cheapest way to do it is to just buy Stark stashes every month, save up as much of those crystals as you can, and then transition that into the Anniversary and Black Friday bingos. If you can save up 25,000 crystals for May and November, December, which are the Anniversary and Black Friday, then you can convert those 25,000 crystals on average into the 5th bingo board rewards, which is a brilliant CTP selector. How did you cope when you realized buying the Symbiote Team Up Collection pack 6 times wasn't worth it? Are you sure? Wasn't it worth it? I've been playing the game on and off for 8 years. One thing I still don't understand, I have Thor Love and Thunder uniform. Is it still usable? Or Thanos Oblivion? Always buy the newest uniform. Do you really have legs? Yes. Number 1, yes, there's a yellow icon with a sword with little dots around it. Number 2, yes, it does. Number 3, destruction. Number 4, no. Do you wear pants when recording your videos? Yes. Yoga video when? No. What's your ass size asking for a friend? Pretty big. Why is Cynicalex? Because my parents had sex. What's your go-to video photo to beat it to? That one of your mom at Red Lobster. Based on the most current uniforms, who would win this battle? Same cards buffs applied, assuming best stats on both sides. Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon. Oh, that bottom team sucks like hard ass, bro. It's really just Cap and Scarlet Witch. So I think without even looking at the top team, it has to be the top team. Because literally 4 out of these 6 characters, 3 out of the 6 are just awful. 2 out of the 6 don't even have tier 4. Whereas everyone there has tier 4 besides Vision. Iron Man is good. He got a uniform recently. Black Widow and Cap and Spider-Man are actually good for PvP. So yeah, the top would wash the bottom easily. It would basically just be down to Cap if Cap could solo. Is the bump from a 260, 280 to a 300 Brilliant Rage worth re-rolling? No, unless you're a whale. This is my question. Here's my answer. What's your favorite thing to eat when you're not hungry? I love going to Red Lobster. No, I'm just kidding. Popcorn. And that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have more questions, you can always feel free to ask me on Discord or Twitter, and I may answer you. In the meantime, thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I appreciate you contributing to the content. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, or thumbs down if you hated it. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.